Some of the greatest crime stories ever told actually happened. In this video, I'll talk about 10 of the best movies inspired by real con artists. And if I missed one, make sure to leave your pick in the comments. American Hustle is David O. Russell's darkly comic take on the real FBI scam operation of the late 1970s. It follows Irving Rosenfeld, a small-time con artist with a bad comb-over, and Sidney Prosser, his clever partner who slips between her American charm and a posh British persona to sell their scams. When the FBI catches them, Agent Richie DiMasso cuts a deal: help him trap corrupt politicians or go to prison. But with Irving's volatile wife stirring chaos and Richie falling for Sidney's fake accent, every con starts to look like another layer of the game. In American Hustle, nobody's honest, and that's exactly what makes it work. The Bling Ring, directed by Sofia Coppola, dramatizes Nancy Jo Sales's Vanity Fair article about a group of Los Angeles teenagers who stole millions in jewelry and designer clothes from celebrity homes. Their targets included early 2000s icons like Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, Rachel Bilson, and Orlando Bloom. And they made sure the houses were empty by tracking the stars' movements on TMZ. Coppola, who knew that culture firsthand, uses the story to reflect on the emptiness of fame and privilege. The result is the least heist-like heist movie imaginable. These kids aren't master criminals. They barely plan anything at all. They're impulsive, shallow, and blinded by the glow of the world they're desperate to enter. No one in the Bling Ring is exactly good, but that's the point. They want fame so badly, they almost disappear chasing it. Released back in 2018, American Animals didn't make much noise at first, but it left a mark as one of the most inventive crime films of its time. It tells the real story of 4 college students who, in 2004, tried to pull off a library heist that quickly spiraled out of control. Director Bart Layton blends 2 worlds: a dramatized version of the events and interviews with the real men behind the crime, reflecting on what actually happened and what didn't. It's a risky concept that could have easily fallen apart, but American Animals pulls it off with surprising precision. The Imposter tells the unbelievable true story of Frédéric Bourdin, a French con artist who, in 1997, convinced a Texas family that he was their missing 13-year-old son. Nicholas Barkley had vanished 3 years earlier, but somehow Bourdin, older, dark-haired, and speaking with a heavy French accent, managed to fool Spanish and American officials, and even Nicholas's family. The film blends Bourdin's own narration with reenactments, interviews, and archival footage, creating a strange mix of confession and performance. Bourdin claimed he'd been kidnapped and trafficked across continents, a lie that grew bigger the longer he told it. The deception unraveled only when a private investigator and an FBI agent began asking questions. And yet, even when the truth is exposed, Bourdin remains disturbingly compelling, at times sympathetic, almost childlike, and at others completely remorseless. Molly's Game marked Aaron Sorkin's directorial debut, and it came with all the sharp dialogue and energy you'd expect from him. Based on a true story, the film follows Molly Bloom, once an Olympic-level skier, who built a secret high-stakes poker empire that attracted Hollywood stars, athletes, billionaire businessmen, and, unknowingly, the Russian mob. Jessica Chastain plays Molly, with equal parts brilliance and defiance, matched by Idris Elba as the lawyer who becomes her only ally when the FBI finally closes in. I Love You, Phillip Morris tells one of the wildest true stories ever filmed. Jim Carrey plays Stephen J. Russell, a married man who after a near-fatal car crash decides to live openly as a gay man. He becomes a con artist, ends up in prison, and falls in love with another inmate, Phillip Morris, played by Ewan McGregor. From there, things only get crazier. Russell escapes from prison multiple times, pretends to be a lawyer, and even fakes illness, all just to stay close to Phillip. It's a funny, strange, and surprisingly sweet story about crime, love, and a man who refused to give up. Everyone knows the real story of Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow, the young outlaw couple who became legends. But when Bonnie and Clyde hit theaters in 1967, it wasn't the story that shocked people. It was how it was told. The film's mix of violence and sexuality was unlike anything Hollywood had shown before, and it changed movies forever. Just a few years earlier, the biggest hit was The Sound of Music. Then came this, a stylish, brutal portrait of love, crime, and chaos. It marked the moment old Hollywood gave way to something new. The movie blended slapstick humor with shocking violence, often in the same scene. And its ending, every bullet, every drop of blood, forced audiences to face the true cost of rebellion. Even sexuality was treated differently. Warren Beatty, one of the biggest stars of the era, played Clyde as uncertain and human, breaking away from the typical image of the invincible leading man. Bonnie and Clyde wasn't just about two criminals. It was the film that rewrote the rules of American cinema. Before The Wolf of Wall Street, Leonardo DiCaprio played another real-life con artist, Frank Abagnale in Catch Me If You Can. Before turning 19, Abagnale pulled off cons worth millions by posing as a pilot, a doctor, and even a prosecutor. He never finished high school, but he mastered one thing: convincing people he was whoever he said he was. His talent eventually attracts the attention of an FBI agent determined to catch him. But Frank always stays one step ahead. It's a cat and mouse story told with Spielberg's lightest touch, full of charm, rhythm, and heart. The Sting was inspired by David Mara's book The Big Con, which told the true story of real-life grifters Fred and Charlie Gondorf. Set during the Great Depression, the film follows two con men who team up to pull off an elaborate scam against a dangerous mob boss. It reunited Paul Newman and Robert Redford with director George Roy Hill, the trio behind Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. The title refers to The Sting, the final moment of a con when the money changes hands and the victim doesn't realize they've been played, at least not until it's too late. Stylish and full of charm, the film recreates the world of 1930s confidence games with old-fashioned title cards and Scott Joplin's ragtime theme, The Entertainer. It was both a critical and commercial success, earning 10 Oscar nominations and winning 7, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Original Screenplay.